Hey, what is up? Welcome to another episode of VGC Prep. I'm your host Ryan, and today is the second PDL battle that we're doing. Today we're going against Menino Jardim. Again, I don't remember the full team that I brought in the wings, but these are the 5 that I can remember from the battles that we've done. So his team was Metagross, Virizion, Manectric, who is his Mega, Hydreigon, Gyarados, and Entei. So looking at those teams, you know, outside of the Virizion and the Gyarados, Rhydon's going to be really good. Now, Rhydon's a pick that I recently picked up. I believe I dropped Golurk for him. The reason I did was Golurk was kind of a one-trick pony. Rhydon can go defensive, really offensive, so many different things. I really like Rhydon, so I decided to go for that. And plus, it gave me a switch in electric immunity instead of like I can leave my like, let's just say Dragonite's not weak. I don't even know, Feraligatr, I can leave Feraligatr in and then switch out my partner for Rhydon, and I can still get some stuff done, so that's what I liked. Excuse me, so I brought Rhydon to begin with. Outside of his Metagross, excuse me, he had a lot of things weak to Fairy, so I kind of wanted to, or at least like that Aromatisse could probably deal with. So I decided to start off with Aromatisse, Rotom Heat. This way I can one-shot his Gyarados, because I can survive a waterfall. I can hit his Metagross, I can hit his Manectric, I can hit his Virizion. I had an answer to his Entei, so much that's pretty much what I wanted it to do. So I see the Metagross and I'm like, do I want to stay in on this? We know he's not Mega, so he could be banded. It was kind of a threat. But you know what, I just kind of thought, he's not gonna try and kill me, you know. I'm gonna go for the overheat, because if he kills my Aromatisse and I don't get Trick Room up, that's not the end of the world, because then he loses his Metagross. So I went for the overheat on the Hydreigon. I actually did a decent amount of damage to it, but unfortunately this Entei, which is just gonna be a huge problem for me, has Substitute. It's like, oh, who brings Substitute? So at this point he's gonna switch out the Hydreigon and bring in the Gyarados. Now, the Gyarados was an interesting play. I did not predict the Gyarados to come in. I went for the Helping Hand because I was at -2. Just to get some damage off, I went for the Volt Switch. Now, had I predicted the Gyarados to come in, I would have Volt Switched on that spot, but I wanted to break the Substitute so that when I bring in whoever I'm going to bring in next, which is most likely going to be Rhydon, I could just take out the Entei, you know? So it is going to be Rhydon. I have no reason to switch a Mawile into an Entei. Now he goes for the Sacred Fire. It does hit the Rhydon, but thankfully he doesn't get the burn. Now this is where the issues arise. Okay, so I can go for Drill Run, but I don't want to go for Drill Run. Okay, the reason I don't want to go for Drill Run is because we have both Entei and Gyarados on the field. So what that's going to do for me is I want to go for Rock Slide, but the problem that begins is that I brought the wrong Rhydon. This Rhydon does not have Rock Slide. For some bizarre reason, it has Hammer Arm over Rock Slide. Hammer Arm's not Stab. Hammer Arm only really hits things like Ferrothorn super effectively, so in this format where I know the team, Hammer Arm has nothing to do against this team, especially this one in particular. I mean, it does have Hydreigon, but I have Ice Punch too, so it's not, you know, a huge loss if I run Hammer Arm. So without having Rock Slide, I'm actually in a really bad position against this Gyarados because I cannot hit this Gyarados super effectively. And he's got a lot of Levitators, so I'd really much rather have Rock Slide. So again, I can't go for the Rock Slide, so I'm just going to have to go for the Drill Run, and he does, of course, switch into the Gyarados, which is something that I should have predicted. But, I mean, not much I can do about that. I can't switch in my... Well, I could. I had Trick Room up. I could switch Rotom in on that. Now, I do go for the Fire Fang, and it really doesn't do a lot. Going into this... After this battle, I realized that Fire Fang wasn't really good. I should have gone for Crunch, because Crunch would indeed do a lot more damage to the Metagross than Fire Fang would, because Fire Fang's only, what, like base 65 or so, 70 something? Crunch is like 80, 85, so it definitely would have done a lot more there. He ends up burning me, I think that's what just happened. Or no, I burned him. Yeah, I burned him. He couldn't get a burn off Sacred Fire, but I got a burn off Fire Fang, which is kind of ridiculous. So he goes for Waterfall. I knew I would survive that, but again, I don't have Rock Slide. I don't even have Trick Room up, so there's no way I'm going to come out of that. But again, I don't have a switch in for that because I can't switch into Rotom Heat on a Waterfall with no Trick Room up. So really, he's just playing me real hard. And there's not much I can do. Had I had the right Rhyperior there, we might Rhydon. We might have been in a bit of a different situation because we could hit the Gyarados a little bit harder, you know. But this is my fully physical Aromatisse, so I was hoping I could maybe survive an Iron Head Waterfall combo. And considering that this Metagross was not choice banded, we survive that with ease, but we get flinched. Now I went for Trick Room here, okay? I did go for Trick Room here, and I think that I can't say we would not have won, I don't think, but we would have come really close because I'd have Trick Room up. That Gyarados would be dead before he can hit me. The Zen Headbutt would not have killed me, and oh wait, I didn't have Trick Room up. I lied. So it. Oh no, yeah, no, I would have had Trick Room up because we flinched. If we didn't flinch, I would have had that up, and I would survive a Zen Headbutt because he's burned, and I should one-hit KO the Gyarados, and then we have a position where his only two remaining Pokemon, I believe. Yeah, his only two remaining. No, he's got the Entei. He's got the Entei. But everything else just gets really hurt bad from the Mawile. Entei will be a problem because I don't have anything to hit him super effectively with, but we would still have an alive Rotom Heat. So can't say we were one. Differential would have been a lot different, but the game's not over yet. We do kill the Gyarados the Hydreigon on the switch in. The reason being, I had no reason not to Draining Kiss the Metagross. It looked like he was at 1 HP. Even if I didn't kill him, he couldn't kill me, and I'd get damage off. So here I'm put in a position where I have a -1 Mawile, and there's an Entei on the field. So I have to go for Helping Hand, and I basically have to just try and take out the Entei. It's not gonna work when you get really close. So if I did have the Rotom Heat alive, I would definitely be. Well, I don't know. He does have. I do believe I asked him after, and he did say that he had Stone Edge. So there's still a chance that he very easily could have just hit a Stone Edge and killed my Rotom. But yeah, we wouldn't have taken the Waterfall damage because we do find out that he's Walkenberry in the next battle. But here's where I made a bit of a misplay. It didn't matter in the long run because he still kills my my Mawile with Waterfall, but I could have killed the Entei with Mawile with a Play Rough or even an Iron Head, and I wouldn't have gotten burned here. Again, it doesn't really matter in the long run because again, I still have to deal with the Gyarados and a Metagross. But I could have very easily taken out that Entei there had I picked the right target. Not saying that it was a misclick, it was just, a bad play. Because as you can see, I can kind of survive against this Gyarados. It's going to kill me here, but if I wasn't burned and didn't take Sacred Fire damage, I would be able to beat out the Gyarados. So, yeah, it's kind of a bit of a... There was, the flinch preventing me from getting Trick Room up that one turn did matter a lot, but on the other hand, I made a play where I didn't target the Entei. Like, Aromatisse could beat the Metagross because he was burned, and it was close enough that I can Draining Kiss him to kill him. I wouldn't have taken Sacred Fire damage, so in the long run, it was really my fault, but yeah, it didn't help that I couldn't get that Trick Room up in time. So, moving into the next battle, I realized, Rhydon really didn't do much. He's only there to stop the Entei, and that's not really going to do very much for me. So I'm going to bring in the Dragonite. Now, this is where things actually go super downhill. He starts off with Metagross and Hydreigon, and again, I start off with Rotom and Aromatisse, because it really is the best lead against his team. There's not much he has that can answer that. So he's going to actually Earth Power my Mawile and do a hell of a lot of damage to me. which is very unfortunate here. But, you know, Citrus Berry is going to pop. I'm hoping I can take an Iron Head. The last time we did take it pretty well. We should be able to survive it. And we do. So I'm going to go for that Overheat. Again, you know, really hoping I don't flinch. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to kill the Metagross. That thing's gone instantly. Turn 1, just gone. So I can get Trick Room up. I can just Draining Kiss the Hydreigon and get almost all my HP back. And I do get the Trick Room up, so I'm not going to be flinched here. So all in all, in a good position so far. He is going to bring in the Entei here, which I oddly did not mark in my notes. Now, I figured I don't really know what I can do here. You know, I can Draining Kiss, which is what I'm going to do because that's my best play. I'm just going to Volt Switch onto the Hydreigon as well, hoping that I can catch a KO. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but he did end up Sacred Firing into my Rotom. So I do live to see another day, and we are going to see the Gyarados come in. So now I'm thinking, okay, so I still have the Dragonite in the back, not a big deal. I could just Draining Kiss again. Now, I probably should have switched out into Dragonite, but the chance of Dragonite getting burned from Sacred Fire is kind of not great for me. Now, he does bring in the Gyarados. I do go for the Volt Switch, so I am going to take him out there, even though he does have Walk and Berry, because I have Life Orb, so it kind of cancels it out in a way. So it's like he doesn't have it, so I do take him out. So I'm going to bring in Dragonite. Now, I know he has Hydreigon in the back. He only has Hydreigon and Entei. And I'm sitting here thinking, that's really my best play right now, you know. He's going to bring the Hydreigon, and that is where things kind of go downhill. So I know I can beat the Hydreigon. I've got my weakness policy. I've got my multi-scale. I'm going to be able to take a Draco from him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Draining Kiss into the Entei. Now this sounds a little crazy. I'm going to Draining Kiss into the Entei because the way I'm looking at it, I have Mawile in the back, right? I have to kill the Entei. I'm not too worried about the Hydreigon, so I'm going to go for the Surf. It's going to kill my Aromatisse, but there's a process behind that. I still have a turn left of Trick Room. So what I'm hoping is I can bring the Mawile, I can go for the Play Rough, I'll take out the Hydreigon, and Entei really has no way to kill my Dragonite. He does have Stone Edge, but I do believe I can survive that because I'm pretty bulky. So I'm going to bring in my Mawile. All I have to do is just get a Play Rough off onto him, and Hydreigon's dead. He just protected, so I'm in a very good position right now. I'm in a very good position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Mega Evolve. I still have a turn of Trick Room, so this is a very good turn for me. I'm going to go for the Play Off, but I miss. And that was a game-losing miss, because what's going to happen is I'm not going to have enough damage to one-hit KO this Entei. So the Entei is going to obviously be able to take out my Mawile, which I figured, but he doesn't. He doesn't take out my Mawile. Like, what the hell? How's that happen? But because I missed the player off and the Hydreigon didn't go down, he's going to take out my Dragonite here, which was my only way of beating that Entei at this point. My only way of winning. So I'm in a really, really bad position now. Because basically, the way that turn was going to happen was I play rough into the Hydreigon. I get a Surf off. The Entei, what I thought was going to happen was the Entei would go down to enough range where another Surf would kill. And I'd be able to kind of switch it around on him in a way where my Mawile goes down and it's just Dragonite and Rotom against the Entei. That would have been a game over for me. But unfortunately, because I missed the player off, he was able to take out my Dragonite, which was my win condition. I do still have Rotom, but I don't have a solid way to beat that Hydreigon, mainly because Trick Room's over already, and there's just no way I can survive. So, unfortunately, I am going to end up losing this because he still has a Draco Meteor in his back pocket. Sacred Fire, I have no way of beating the Entei quickly, since it is going to be faster than me. So that did end up costing me the game. I don't think I could have played that any better. I was in literally the prime position to win. But I mean, it's just a game. It's not a big deal. I'm not too worried about it. It's just I'm not in the league. I'm not in the league to win the league. I'm in the league to have something to do for fun. You know, it's a very fun way to play Pokemon, in my opinion. So that's really the main reason. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Peace.